Today, I'm going to share with you the 3 things I did to earn $91,000 in a month and what you can use to earn $10,000 in a month very quickly. On this channel, we break down the tools, the strategies, and the tips for you to level up in your health, in your wealth, and in your relationships so you can live a happier life. I remember when I was working for an hourly wage, I felt so annoyed because no matter how hard I worked, I was going to be stuck or limited with the amount that I was paid per hour. The thing that really drove me nuts is that the people that I worked around, they would dick around all day and they made the same amount of money as I did. So no matter how hard I worked, even if I was busting my ass, I would make just as much as every other person I was working with, even if their work ethic wasn't like mine, okay? So I wanted to learn how I could make money fast, and I wanted to be in a position to control what I earned. So what I did is I started to read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and listening to programs made by Tony Robbins, and overall racked my brain to figure out how I could make this happen. So what happened next is over time, I figured out a handful of things that I could do that really made a difference and changed the game for me. Not only did these things that I'm going to share with you here today put me in a position to earn more money, but in fact, they literally led to me making the most I've ever made in a calendar month up until now. I plan to beat this, which is $91,344 in 1 month. These are the 3 things that I use to make it happen and how you can be on track to do the same thing yourself, okay? So the first thing that I did and that I recommend is choosing the right vehicle. So Warren Buffett, one of the richest investors in the world, has a quote: "It doesn't matter how hard you row, it matters most which boat you get in." So much of our ability to earn a great amount of money comes from the vehicle, or in other words, the opportunity that we use and choose to make money in, okay? So you can work hard as fuck at McDonald's, but chances are you're not gonna make $100,000 in a month. You aren't gonna earn that money either working minimum wage, and I definitely wasn't as well. That's why I learned the importance of finding the right vehicle, something where my earning potential wasn't limited by the hour. So here's a couple ideas that I thought of back then and that I'd maybe recommend now. Number 1, sales. Sales is a great vehicle to make a lot of money, and it could be selling cars or real estate like I did, or insurance or consulting, or maybe doing drop shipping. Either way, sales is a skill that pays the bills. The second thing you could consider learning is marketing. And looking back, I wish I would have doubled down on this earlier, but it's something I'm definitely learning now. You could learn how to build websites, run ads, even do any of the other options that marketing allows, so you can become like a freelancer or work for a company. And a lot of those people determine their own income because they have such a valuable skill set. But P.S., you still got to sell even if you're a marketer, especially if you plan on going solo like a freelancer. The third option you could consider is leadership, which is one of the other highest paid roles in any company or in the world. And the thing is it could be you starting your own company or working for another, but they are some of the highest paid people because they lead, right? So those 3 skills are so valuable. My crazy ass chose back then and continues to choose all 3, knowing that the secret is the better I get at these skills, the more money I can make. And it's almost like the ability to print money becomes a real thing in real life when you build these skills. So the second thing that I did to earn $91,000 in a month and that you can use to get close to earning $10,000 in a month as soon as possible is building the right habits. And to kick this one off, I want to start with this quote: "First, man makes habits, and then habits make man." In order to make this happen, I had a few habits that I had to build, and they aren't what you think. I'm not going to tell you to make your bed or to wake up at 5 a.m. or any of those other typical habits that people talk about when it comes to making money or being successful. The ones I'm talking about are habitual ways of being and doing, okay? And the first one I've heard called, shout out to my boy, Matt Schaefer. Matt's another YouTuber and one of my friends. But anyways, he calls it CCIA, or conscious, committed, imperfect action. And that's the ability to keep showing up and trying. So for me, I just wouldn't give up. I kept taking action, even if it wasn't perfect or pretty, and even still have the tendency to get obsessed about things and to continue to work at them until I figure them out. YouTube is no different. I'm going to figure this shit out. Building a personal brand, I'm going to figure this shit out. There's not a version of my life where I don't. I'm just I take that conscious, committed, imperfect action no matter what, and I'm gonna figure it out. That's the commitment and belief that I have. And the second habit I built that led to me making that money and that will lead you to doing the same is the habit of having a student's mind. So that means that I'm never too smart to learn more. I always stayed curious back then and still do. And I look for clues as to what works. And as I found it, I would model after it. Modeling just means copying. It's a fancy word for copying, okay? I am not too good to learn from anyone. And because of that, I shortcutted the success in my career because I was constantly learning, constantly growing, and I was applying, that's the important part, what I was learning. And I still do to this day. And you're seeing it unfold in real time as I build up this channel and do all this other crazy shit that I'm up to. So I learned that if you are always learning and taking action, sooner or later, you're going to figure it out, whatever it is you're working towards, and you'll win. That's the important thing too. You will win. The third thing that I did that you can do as well to make that dough, make that money is have the right mindset. Okay. So having the right mindset was crucial for me. And here's what I mean. What is the one thing that so-called successful people do? Can you think about it? I'll tell you, they think big as hell. They are the crazies, the people in this world that have visions that other people laugh at. They think thoughts that are so big, but they're also crazy enough to go after those same thoughts and visions with passion. And I learned that very young. David Schwartz wrote a book called I think it's The Power of Thinking Big. And there's a quote from it I stole. He says, "Believe big. The size of your success is determined by the size of your belief. If you think little goals, you can expect little achievements." Okay. So for me, this really was the secret. I would have never made the career changes or jumps that I did, built the habits that I needed to, or even started in the first place if I didn't think this big, okay? I wouldn't have even thought it was possible to make the money that I made in 1 month that I used to make in 1 year. Back in 2018, I made $82,000 in an entire year. And in May, I think it was May or June, I got the little photo up there. June. By June of 2022, I had made $91,344 in a month. I had to think big to make that happen, and no different than any other successful person or person that has results in their life, they think super big. The thing is, I wouldn't have taken the actions, developed the skills, practiced the habits, or even began in the first place if I was not a dreamer, one of those crazy people you hear about that doesn't settle for normal. So here's a powerful story to drive this whole spiel home. There's a quote from Jesse B. Rittenhouse, and he says, it's like a little story, okay? "I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. Life is just an employer. He gives you what you ask, but once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I would have asked of life, life would have willingly paid." If you're not a wordsmith, I'll break that down for you. Basically, you get what you ask for in life. And to start asking for more, you first have to think big. And that's what worked for me. And I'm certain it'll work for you. So with that being said, guys, that's the video. Those are the 3 things that you can do to earn at least $10,000 in a month, and that I use to earn $91,000 in a month. And the same skills I plan to use to scale my current business to over $100,000 a month. With that in mind, guys, I'm going to recap really quick. Those 3 things are, number 1, choose the right vehicle. You can only make as much money as the opportunity you're in allows for. So choose the right opportunity. Number 2, build the right habits. Get those habitual ways of doing things and the way that you're being, so that you can become successful. And number 3, it's think super big. Have the right mindset. Approach things with that massive, massive vision and the thinking that's going to unlimit your success rather than limit it. So with that being said, guys, if you are looking to put yourself in position to have a clear life direction, a better vehicle to make money, to know where you are headed in life, and to be able to build the skills, the discipline, and the game plan to get there, I've got news for you. I built a Life Academy just for you to help you do that. The link is in the bio if you want to learn more. And until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.